Cole Harlan rode out before the sun came up, the way men do when they own more land than they can see in one day. Frost stuck to the bushes, turning the wide valley into a silver sheet that sparkled under the pale morning light. His black horse moved steadily beneath him, breath rising in soft white clouds against the cold December air. Cole was not a man who let his mind drift. His life followed clear rules, numbers, borders, and plans. The Harlan Ranch was the biggest spread in the Northern Territory because he had built it that way. People in town called him lucky, but the men who worked beside him knew better. Luck had nothing to do with it. Hard work did. Every winter after the first big freeze, Cole rode the far edges of his land. He checked fence lines, looked for broken rails, washed out ditches and tracks that did not belong. A ranch of this size did not survive on hope. It survived on care. That morning felt no different from any other, until he reached a narrow hill overlooking a quiet valley with cottonwood trees. That was when he saw the old cabin. Most people did not even know it was there. It sat low in the land, hidden behind twisted trees and stones shaped by years of wind. It had been built long ago by a trapper who had either moved on or died. No one ever knew which. The roof sagged, the porch tilted, and the door barely hung on its hinges. Cole had always planned to tear it down someday, another job on a list that never seemed to shrink. But that morning, something stopped him. Smoke. A thin, steady line rose from the stone chimney, straight and sure. Not the drifting smoke of children or wanderers, but the kind made by someone who knew how to keep a fire burning. Someone was living there. Cole guided his horse forward, moving slow. The closer he came, the more signs he saw. Fresh wood stacked neatly by the door, a fixed window, a new latch carved into the frame. This was not neglect. This was care. He got off quietly, boots crunching over frost. He was not angry yet. Mostly he was curious. Whoever lived here was not hiding. They had made the place livable, even proud. Cole raised his hand to knock, but the door opened before he could. A woman stood there, holding a lantern, a piece of firewood tucked under her arm. She looked straight at him, calm and steady, without fear or apology. "Morning," she said. Her voice was clear, like cold creek water. Cole straightened. "Morning," he replied. "This is Harlan land. I need to know who's living on it." "My name is Emily Whitaker," she said. "I'm not here to cause trouble." Something stirred in him then. Interest, nothing more, but sharper than he expected. She did not look like trouble, yet she was clearly not weak. She stepped aside. "You might as well come in out of the cold." Cole hesitated. He had expected excuses or fear, not an invitation. Still, the cold cut deep, and curiosity won. He stepped inside. The cabin surprised him. The walls were old and gray, gaps stuffed with cloth and moss. The floor creaked, but the place was clean. A woven rug lay near the hearth. A small table stood level only because stones had been stacked under one leg. Herbs hung drying from the rafters. Everything had a reason for being there. "You fixed the roof," Cole said. "Best I could. Winter's hard on leaky places." "You hauled that timber yourself." "I did." "You know this cabin is on my land." "I do," she said calmly. "I wasn't hiding it, I just used what was empty." Most people begged when caught. Some lied. Emily didn't either. "How long do you plan to stay?" he asked. "Long enough to get back on my feet," she answered. "I don't want charity, just time." That answer stayed with him. Cole left soon after, but he did not forget her. That night, sleep did not come easy. Not from anger or worry, but because Emily Whitaker did not fit into any problem he had faced before. She was not stealing, not helpless, not dishonest. She was capable, and capability deserved fairness. By morning, he had written an agreement on a single sheet of paper. When he returned, Emily was splitting wood, each swing clean and sure. She did not stop until she finished the log. "You came back," she said. "I said I would think on it," Cole replied. "I'm done thinking." He offered her the agreement. "You may stay through winter," he said. "In return, you work for the ranch. Fence checks, water surveys, remote tasks my crew can't reach." Emily read every line carefully. "One change," she said. "Add a clause ending 'this after winter.' No obligation." Cole studied her, then nodded. He added the line. She signed her name steady and clear. He signed beneath it. That should have been the end of it, but a few days later in town, Cole overheard a name that changed everything. Victor Slade, a land broker known for forged papers and stolen claims, a man who preyed on widows and the forgotten. Cole felt the truth settle heavy in his chest. That evening, he rode back to the cabin. "Have you heard of Victor Slade?" he asked. Emily's hands tightened slightly. "Yes," she said, "I have." And in that moment, Cole knew this was no simple arrangement. What Emily was running from had finally caught up with them both, and he had no intention of letting it end there. "Hey folks, how's the story so far? Where are you tuning in from? What's the time there? If you're liking this tale, please hit that like and subscribe." Cole did not press Emily for answers that first evening. He had learned long ago that truth came best when it was given, not forced. He left the cabin before nightfall, riding back toward the main ranch house with a mind heavier than it had been in years. The name Victor Slade stayed with him like a stone in his boot. He had crossed paths with men like that before, smooth voices, tidy papers, and a hunger for land that did not belong to them. They survived because no one with power ever bothered to stop them. Cole slept little that night. Before dawn, he was already dressed, coffee untouched on the table, a small notebook tucked into his coat. He rode into Ash Hollow while the town was still quiet, snow dusting the rooftops and hitching posts. This was the hour when honest work began, and dishonest dealings were easiest to find. The Elias Grant office was his first stop. Elias sat behind the counter, spectacles perched low, sorting papers by habit more than need. "Morning, Cole," Elias said. "You're early." "I need to see the Blue Ridge transfers from 2 winters ago," Cole replied. Elias raised an eyebrow, but reached for the ledger. He trusted Cole's reasons, even when he did not know them. Cole flipped through the pages with a practiced eye until he found it, a forfeited deed signed by Emily Marion Whitaker. The handwriting was wrong, too round, too careless. "Who filed this?" Cole asked. "Victor Slade," Elias said quietly. "Said he was cleaning up disputed claims." Cole closed the ledger. "Did anyone verify the signature?" Elias sighed. "You know how it goes. Paper speaks louder than people." That was enough. Cole found Victor Slade near the livery stable later that morning. The man stood too straight, coat too clean, smile too sharp. He looked up and saw Cole coming and tried to look relaxed. "Well now," Slade said, "didn't expect to see you down here." "You filed a false deed," Cole said simply. Slade laughed, but it came out thin. "That's a serious claim." "So is forgery," Cole replied. "You'll void it today." "And if I don't?" Cole stepped closer, his voice calm. "Then I'll make sure every office in this territory knows your name. You won't sell a single inch of land again." Slade looked around. No one came to his aid. Power was a quiet thing, and Cole had it. By noon, the deed was voided. By sundown, Slade was gone. Cole did not ride straight back to the cabin. He stopped first at the lumber yard, then the general store. By the time he reached Emily's place, the wagon behind him was heavy with supplies. Emily stepped outside when she heard the wheels. She froze when she saw the load. "What's all this?" she asked. "A start," Cole said. "That cabin won't last another winter." She folded her arms. "I didn't ask for charity." "And I didn't offer any," he replied. "I offered work and shelter that won't fall in on you." She studied him for a long moment, then nodded once. "All right." The new cabin rose slowly, board by board, stone by stone. Emily worked beside the hired men, measuring, lifting, learning. She did not complain. She did not rush. Cole watched from a distance, noting how naturally she fit into the work, how the men respected her without being told to. Weeks passed. Snow fell steady and clean. The old cabin stood empty now, its purpose finished. The new one stood strong on the ridge, windows facing south, a solid hearth at its heart. One evening, as the last light faded, Emily stood on the porch of her new home. Cole approached quietly. "It's finished," he said. "It is, and it's more than I thought I'd ever have again." Cole nodded. "Your land in Blue Ridge is restored. It's yours if you want it." She shook her head slowly. "Not yet. I'm not done here." Cole felt something shift then. Not ownership, not obligation. Respect. Below them, the Harlan Ranch stretched wide and quiet under the falling snow. For the first time in years, Cole felt that something unexpected had taken root on his land. Something strong, and winter was far from over. Winter tightened its hold on the Harlan Ranch, but life did not slow. Snow lay deep in the draws and along the fence lines, yet the work continued, steady and sure. Emily Whitaker took to her role as if it had always been hers. She rode alone to distant corners of the property, checked markers others ignored, and returned with notes so clear that even Cole's foreman began relying on her reports. She asked no praise and expected no easing of duty. What she wanted was simple: to earn her place. Cole watched all of it without comment. He had built his life on measured decisions, not impulse. Still, something had changed. He found himself adjusting schedules so he crossed paths with her more often, stopping by the new cabin under the excuse of inspecting work already done. They spoke easily, not of feelings but of weather patterns, water flow, and the small choices that made survival possible. It was not romance, not yet. It was trust. The test came late in February. A hard storm rolled in from the north, the kind that swallowed sound and turned daylight into a pale blur. One of the eastern fence lines failed under the weight of drifting snow, and a group of cattle broke through, wandering toward the frozen creek. Cole sent 2 hands to recover them, but when night fell and they did not return, he knew something was wrong. He rode out himself, the wind biting hard. Halfway down the trail, he saw a familiar figure ahead. "Emily, you shouldn't be out here alone," he called. "Neither should you," she shouted back. "The creek ice won't hold cattle weight. They'll panic if we rush them." She was right. Together they worked through the night, slow and patient, guiding the herd back inch by inch. When one of the hands appeared, injured but alive, Emily helped bind his leg with calm efficiency. By the time dawn broke, all cattle were accounted for. Back at the ranch house, the injured man was tended, and the storm finally eased. Cole stood near the stove, steam rising from his coat. Emily stood across from him, hands wrapped around a mug of coffee. "You didn't have to come," he said. "Yes, I did," she answered. "This is my work, too." Cole nodded. "It is." Spring arrived quietly. Snow melted into streams. Grass pushed green through the soil. With it came letters from Blue Ridge, confirming Emily's restored ownership. Cole handed them to her one evening. "You're free to go," he said. She read them, then folded them carefully. "I know." Silence stretched between them. "But I won't," she added. Cole met her eyes. "Why?" "Because this place isn't borrowed anymore," she said. "I earned it." He did not argue. He did not need to. That summer, Ash Hollow buzzed with talk. People noticed changes at the Harlan Ranch. Fences held stronger, records ran cleaner, and there was a woman riding the far lines with the confidence of someone who belonged. Some whispered, others wondered. Cole ignored it all. One evening, as the sun dipped low, he found Emily standing on the ridge near her cabin, watching the land stretch out below. "You ever think about staying for good?" he asked. She smiled, small but real. "I already am." Cole took a breath, deeper than usual. "Then we should make it official. Not as employer and worker." She turned to him fully now. "As partners," he said. "In land, in life, equal." Emily studied him the way she studied contracts and weather signs. Then she held out her hand. "All right, Cole Harlan," she said, "on equal terms." He took her hand, firm and certain. That fall, they married quietly. No crowd, no speeches, just 2 people who had built something solid, choosing to build more. The old cabin was torn down before winter. In its place, grass grew thick and green. and on the ridge above the meadow, a light burned every night, steady and warm, seen from miles across the land that now truly belonged to them both. And that's the end of the story. Where are you from? What's the time there? Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this tale, please like and subscribe for more.